Hello and welcome to Following On. You're listening to talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2, and also via the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel at the end of day one of the third Test match here in Hamilton, Seddon Park. New Zealand and England have just walked from the field. 315 runs scored, 9 wickets falling, 82 overs bowled, and England winning the toss and deciding to bowl first. We didn't see spin all day. Beautiful conditions overhead for the afternoon and evening session. A day which went New Zealand's way in the morning, 93 without loss at lunch. England hitting back in the afternoon, and New Zealand treading water. Just 79 runs scored, 3 wickets going the way of Atkinson, Potts, and also Cass. But it was the evening session which England really attacked and got stuck in. At one stage, New Zealand 231 for 7, but the next 2 wickets have yielded the best part of 80 runs. And the fans that turned up here at Hamilton cheering on the local boy, Tim Southee, playing in his final Test match. He was given a guard of honour as he walked to the crease. He moved 3 sixes nearer to the magical 100 mark, and alongside Mitchell Santner, certainly gave the home fans something to cheer about, and dare I say it, the English too. I'm Jon Norman, alongside Steve Harmison, former England fast bowler, and former New Zealand international Anton Devcich, who is with us for this third Test match. Harmy, let me start with you. England's day after winning the toss and deciding to bowl first?
Even day. I think just about even day. I think on that surface, I think par scores around about 320, which they are very close to getting. So I think it's pretty much an even day. I think England were well ahead of the game when you mentioned there. It's 230 for 7. But that little Santner innings and the partnership with Southee possibly just brought New Zealand back in the game. What I'll say is, when England come off the field in the first innings at Wellington with 280 on the board, I'm going, maybe it's a little bit below par, but they're in the game. Let's see how the opposition do. I think England on this surface will be very, very aggressive, and it'll be up to New Zealand playing 2 spin bowlers, playing Southee, to see how they go on this surface against what will be an aggressive, I think, England side.
Anton, local man with lots of local knowledge. Do you agree with Harmy? Is that just about a par score?
Yeah, I think it was a day of cricket where both teams sort of were on top at different stages of the game. Obviously, New Zealand started really well, and England probably not as good as what they wanted to be. And then throughout the middle, England pulled it back and started to take wickets. And then with Mitchell Santner's cameo there at the back end with Southee, probably got them into a position where they feel comfortable. They feel comfortable, not too excited about how they lost wickets throughout the middle, but I think going in tomorrow, they'll really be focused on how they start with the ball, because that's the important part with Southee and Matt Henry. If they can start well, it might set up for a really good day of cricket tomorrow. But if they start poorly, then the spinners are going to have to get involved, and who knows, we haven't seen any spin yet, so who knows how that's going to play.
I find it fascinating. We know how England go about their cricket, but they do sometimes get unstuck. And I wonder whether this is the kind of pitch where they may well do so. Yeah,
the point I want to make on the sort of like in the game score, it's an in the game score if England do, like you say, come out and have a little bit of a brain fade like they sometimes do and give 3 or 4 wickets away, a little bit like what New Zealand did. Because they have got 2 spinners. The intriguing part about the next 2 days is how quickly this deteriorates. And if it deteriorates at some point tomorrow and it takes spin tomorrow, then all of a sudden that 320, 325, 330 is probably maybe better than par. But at this minute in time, when the ball gets soft, this wicket's quite placid. I mean, England will fancy themselves to score at 5 and over. Then that game, that then goes fast forward, and England get to parity, and possibly the one thing New Zealand don't want is to concede a lead. If England go on here and go and get 450 like they did at Christchurch, and we know how that lost because it wasn't how they batted, it was how they caught. If England go and get 499 again, then there's only one winner. So then the deterioration comes in further down the line because England have scored so quickly. England win the game because they hold the big lead. So New Zealand need to be right at it tomorrow. If this starts deteriorating late tomorrow night, then all of a sudden the end game becomes very crucial because England then have to start thinking about chasing 220, 250 if New Zealand can bowl England out for a score of around about 320, 330. So all these little games inside of a game is huge. England bat 90 over, or 85 overs tomorrow. England will be for 375 because that's the nature of the way they score. If they do that, then all of a sudden, if they're still batting this time tomorrow, they'll be ahead of the game.
Was there some slight frustration, though, Anton, at the way that New Zealand, once again, with the noses in front of the game, just failed to capitalise? And everyone, not everything goes your way, but again, 79 runs scored in that afternoon session. They went into lunch 93 without loss. And much like at Christchurch, they just almost seem unable to really put the pressure back on England until it's kind of too late.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw the shift as soon as Kane Williamson got out and Daryl Mitchell and Tom Blundell came to the crease. It was a significant shift in tempo. And the question that I ask is, could they have done it slightly earlier before they had lost that wicket, just to sort of show that they were getting slightly on top there potentially? But yeah, maybe a little bit too late from them to try and put the foot down. But as soon as they started playing shots, I know Ravindra got out playing aggressively, but that can happen. But as soon as the back end of the innings they started playing shots, it looked so much more clear and positive, and the runs started to flow, which is what England have built their game on over the last sort of 2 years.
And what about the different attack that New Zealand have brought into this match? Because a lot of talk was about whether Mitchell Santner should play. I mean, one day in, the two changes that New Zealand have made, for whatever reason, Will Young scored 42, and importantly, he batted for 92 deliveries, and alongside Tom Latham, saw out that morning session. So that's a big tick. Santner hasn't bowled yet, and he's in the side to bowl, but his runs would have been part of the currency. They're thinking Nathan Smith replacing him, and it wouldn't just have been about the wickets. Nathan Smith's taken Joe Root's wicket, 3 times already? But the runs. So they're thinking, well, maybe Smith's good for 30. Well, Santner's there, 50 not out. So that's a big tick as well, one day in. But moving to tomorrow, England haven't given one over a spin to Bashir on day one. Santner is going to have to bowl a good 25 overs tomorrow.
Yeah, he's going to have to get stuck in, isn't he? And I guess in terms of the selection, I don't necessarily mind it because if Mitchell Santner has a white ball in his hand, he is one of the best white ball bowlers going around. And if the England guys are going to come out and play shots against him, he's probably more equipped than anyone else to be able to deal with that. You might see him bowl, especially if the likes of Harry Brook and Joe Root are batting, you might see him just go a little bit more one-day style and try and get them to maybe force something that's not quite there.
We're just waiting to hear from Matthew Potts, who is speaking to Scott Taylor. In fact, we can right now. Let's hear from the man who once again took the wicket of Kane Williamson.
Matthew, thanks for joining us. 3 wickets for yourself. How rewarding was it? It looked quite a tough day out in the field for you guys.
Yeah, it was. It felt as though we just needed a little bit of luck on our side at one point. We were creating chances throughout the entire first session and found ourselves wicketless. But we knew if we stuck to our guns and kept on putting the ball in the right areas that it would come. It was just a tough day of toil.
And how important was it to remain patient? As you say, that first session you went wicketless, but you were creating chances.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all about patience and just knowing that you're doing the right thing, and just it will come good eventually.
And what was it like bowling on the wicket? Because it looked like it was stopping in the wicket some balls. The carry was good. What was it like bowling?
Yeah, I felt early on the carry felt really good. It seemed to be relatively quick, and then just progressively got slightly slower throughout the day, and turned into quite a decent batting pitch.
And how much do you pride yourself on your fitness? Just even at the end of the day there, you're still chasing every ball to the boundary with intent. You're still running in and bowling. Is that probably one of your best attributes, you'd say?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's why we work hard behind the scenes, to for those moments in games where you can kind of put in for the team and get something out for the boys. So yeah, that's something I pride myself on.
And what's it been like for you this winter and summer, I guess, around this Test side? Because you've played and then you've missed out and then you've played. So has it been hard with the stop-start nature of your sort of appearances?
No, I'm just really enjoying every moment with this team. It's a great bunch of lads, and it's great to be playing alongside them when you get the opportunity.
And just looking ahead to tomorrow, 303 for 9, 315 for 9 at the moment. Where do you see the state of the game?
Yeah, I think it's obviously you can't really judge a game until both teams have kind of batted on it, and we'll see where we're at. So yeah, we'll rock up tomorrow morning and try and get them out of there and get batting. And
just a word on your other bowlers. It was an all-seam line-up throughout the whole day, so a real team effort from the bowlers.
Yeah, a real team effort from the bowlers. I thought Carsey was really good. I thought Gus was bowling beautifully as well, without reward as well, and then that look came good. But I think special mention to the skipper, running in and bowling some really big, long, hard spells, like 7 overs on the bounce ball and bounces, or 8 overs. Yeah, it's just fantastic that he's got that buy-in for the team. He puts his heart and soul into this dressing room, and hopefully the rest of the bowlers and that can give back to him.
And just finally, how much does that sort of motivate you, seeing the skipper put on spells of 10 overs in a row, and how much does that motivate you?
Yeah, massively. I think for all the lads kind of out there watching him go about his work and how meticulous he is and how he keeps on going, I think it's a massive example to the rest of us of where we should be at and our attitude towards the game.
Perfect. Well today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Matthew Potts speaking with Scott Taylor there. Matthew Potts' figures: 21 overs, 6 maidens, 3 for 75. Bowled 10 overs in the morning spell, or rather the morning session, 2 spells. Gus Atkinson, 19 overs, 5 maidens, 3 for 55. Seemed to really be struggling towards the back end. Certainly his pace was down. Bryden bowled really well though. Bryden Cast, 19 overs, got cramp in both legs in the outfield. That's how he'll be remembered today. His skipper laughing. 2 maidens, 2 for 78. And the skipper himself, he's bowled more overs today than he has in a day's play. You've got to go back 2.5 years. 23 overs, 6 maidens, 1 for 86. The main reason why I suppose we didn't see Shoaib Bashir bowl.
Yeah, Ben got into a little bit of a run in that middle session where he was creating chances from one end. He picked up a wicket, but he was doing a job for the team, which there was wickets falling around him and at the other end. And he also identified a time where his bowlers needed him. I mean, his bowlers needed him to bowl that long spell. His bowlers, the team needed Matt Potts' energy, which I thought Potts would give the energy. I thought Cast was a little bit... He looked as though he's played the 3 back-to-back games, and if England want to win this Test match, they're going to have to have a look at that when it comes to their batting and how they give their bowlers a little bit of a rest. Atkinson and Karsk could do with a long break between now and then trying to win the Test match or affect the Test match in the 3rd innings. So that'll be crucial to see how England go about that with the bat in front. But Stokes, yes, I think the team needed him to stand up. It was at a Bashir bowl, probably not enough in it from a spinning point of view. So Ben's decided, because they needed a 4th seamer and they needed the 4th seamer to stand up, Bashir bowled into the wind at Christchurch and at Wellington. It wasn't that type of day today. It wasn't that type of surface. It needed a seam bowler to do that, them hard yards. And Ben had to do that as captain because he hasn't bowled a great deal in this series. He's bowled probably more than enough than he would probably want, but he is in it for the 4th seamer's point of view. I spoke to him yesterday about what it's like personally, contributing as the bowler. And he said, I'm ready to bowl the overs that my team needs me. His team needed him today to bowl 23 overs.
Yeah, absolutely, and well said, Harmy. We're just about to hear from Kane Williamson. It was really his wicket that turned the day England's way. It was 185 for 3. He was batting alongside Daryl Mitchell. Ravindra had just sliced one to gully, and kind of felt like he got himself out again. Katie Martin was on commentary at the time. He was dismissed and said, this is a real problem. She obviously didn't say it like this, but she said it's a problem for Ravindra because he's been out 5 times in very similar fashion. And as you know, Harmin, have said, teams work you out very, very quickly. Once again, he walked off with a shake of the head. Disappointing for him and also the fans here, because he is an exciting, dynamic player. I want to see a bit more of him. Let's hear, though, from Kane Williamson who's just been chatting with Daniel McCarty.
Kane, how do you reflect? Such a positive start. Is it a little bit deflating? You've lost 9 wickets in those last 2 sessions.
Yeah, outstanding start. Obviously, really challenging for the openers there in the first session. So to get through that and find ways to score was great. Certainly great for our team. I think there was sort of a bit in the wicket for most of the day, and swing and some assistance there for the seamers. I mean, obviously, you always want more. A number of I guess contributions that guys I suppose getting in, but you sort of never felt like you had a real rhythm out there if you hit an area for long periods. There were certainly some good questions asked. So yeah, always tough to sum up until you see a little bit more of how the pitch develops. But nice to have 300 sort of plus on the board. Always nice to have more though.
Yeah. They bowled well after lunch now, didn't they? And that credit to them. You talk about finding where to score. It's a particularly strange colour from our vantage point, dark brown. How was it playing, like a normal surface here?
Yeah, definitely a different looking surface to what we used to. Had quite steep bounce, certainly from one end. So yeah, I mean there are I guess tactics out there to try and exploit, and like you mentioned, I thought they did that excellently well. And certainly after getting a breakthrough and sort of putting together a few sets made scoring quite tough to come by for periods. And like I say, some questions asked, they're good exploiting that. And so for us, when it's our turn, which hopefully we can eke out a few more, but it'll be about looking to replicate some of that and utilise some of the swing. We saw swing for pretty much all 80 overs with that first ball, so that'll be important for us going into the first innings with the ball.
They get a bit of luck, caught down the leg side, you play on, that could go, but then probably a few softer wickets. Does that give them a lift, give an energy? They're playing 3 consecutive tests too. That attack looked like it was heavy-legged at times.
Yeah, I mean, naturally, any time you get a breakthrough is a great feeling, and like you mentioned, some that go your way, and then a few decisions that you'd like to take back, but at the same time, players were going out there trying to be positive, and scoring rate was good. We were able to keep that ticking over despite some of the really challenging periods that we had to face. But naturally, everyone sort of walks off and reflects and wants to do a little bit better next time, and that's no different today than any other day. But like I say, it'll just be quite dependent on how the surface develops and whether there's that steep bounce for long periods that we can try and exploit with our attack.
Thanks for coming out. Let you get that to no doubt they're very healthy food you consume.
That's good. Yeah, thank you.
Kane Williamson speaking with Daniel McCarty. Just a couple of minutes until the end of the show. New Zealand tomorrow. It's going to be Southee and Henry to take the new ball, I imagine. Anton, O'Rourke, and then we're going to see some slow left arm.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for Southee to prove a few people wrong. There's obviously been a lot of talk about his position in the team, and whatever your opinion is on that, he's got an opportunity tomorrow to bowl at his home ground where he knows the conditions better than anyone, and he knows how to bowl the 3/4 ball and how to swing it away and draw shots at a batsman. So it's his opportunity to really step up for his country one last time, and I'm sure Matt Henry and Will O'Rourke will do their best to assist with that. It all comes back to how England come out with what sort of approach that's the question, and can they execute what they're trying to do as well. But yeah, looking forward to it.
I really enjoyed the cheers from the banks and the hospitality to the right of us when Southee was hitting those sixes, 2 of them into that part of the field. There's definitely local support here for the local boy. England, though, you can just sense it. Stokes wants to win here.
Yeah, he wants to win here, and he wants to win 3-0. Just a little, to finish on what Kane said there. He said, you hit a good area, you can get rewarded if you hit that good area on a consistent basis. What England do well, and that's what England will come back tomorrow, is England try and hit you off that good area. England were allowed to bowl that good area, got rewarded. Can New Zealand hold their nerve tomorrow and bowl that good area? Try and put England under pressure. We'll see.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow, won't we, Anton and Harmy, alongside Katie and Jeremy, Daniel, Garth and manners. Thanks for joining us here on talkSPORT 2, talkSPORT, and via the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. We will be back at 9:45 on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel for day 2 of this third test.